this demo, we will explore the use of notepads, creating pipelines, and stepping through some sample experiments on the JedAI platform. To begin, engineers or users will typically need to manipulate or work with notebooks. Here we can see one we created earlier, and now we will step through the process of creating a new one. We give our notebook a name and select an image depending on what we plan to use. We select the resources we need, for example, the number of GPUs and the GPU type. We can add volume, and then we launch. After a few seconds, once it has spun up, we can connect to our new Jupyter notebook. For now, we will connect to the one we created previously. Kubeflow Examples is a notebook that we have pre-downloaded. To clone another repository, we simply click on this button, enter the repository URL. Alternatively, we can do this through the traditional terminal interface. Going back to Kubeflow Examples notebook, we will take a look at the Wine Kubeflow pipelines and the MLflow Python notebook. We'll also see a CSV file that houses some data in a comma-delimited input file. We will now step through our notebook. To start with, we have added quiet parameter to these commands to stop them producing too much output. As we step through the commands, an asterisk beside the notebook means that it is executing. When it returns a number, it means it has completed. We see here that we can access our M3 endpoint. Next, we download the data file again, and shortly we will see it added to the left navigation. We now enter the pre-processing stage. This takes the CSV file and outputs a Parquet file, which is commonly used when working with PyTorch. So this pre-processing stage converts the file into a training format for our application, and then we add the KFP components, which creates our pipeline in Kubeflow. Next, we begin our training, and when we complete, we see we have created version 12 of the model. If we go over to our MLflow dashboard, we can see the previous version 11, which was created a short while ago. And upon refresh, we can see the newly created version 12 model. MLflow is very useful for tracking experiments. If we click on the activity, we can see what was created as part of this activity. Going back to Kubeflow, we now add the workflow component. We will skip the deployment for now and go straight into creating the pipeline, set the client and compile it. This will create winepipeline.yaml file, which we will see show up in the left nav in just a few seconds. We can download the file and go back into our Kubeflow dashboard. Here we can see that the new notebook we created at the beginning is up and running. We can go in and follow the same steps. Back to our experiments in the Kubeflow dashboard, we will create a new experiment. We will come back to the run step once we have imported our pipeline. We go to the pipeline, upload it, give it a name and description. We'll upload the file that we just downloaded after our compilation step. Here we see the various steps we've taken already, from which we can create a run. This run can be once off or reoccurring, or can be set to run whenever there is a data change trigger. To run it, we will choose the relevant experiment and we will add the link to the GitHub content for the CSV file. We start the run and we can follow the steps as they complete in real time. This run is now automating all of the steps we've already taken, and this can also be set to reoccur periodically or based on a specific trigger. This concludes our demonstration of running experiments, pipelines, and training on the JedAI platform. Should you require any more information, you can contact us on our website, www.define-technology.com.